All right, right now we are going to begin section 3.2, which is the product and quotient rule. The first rule to discuss is going to be the product rule. It says if f and g are differentiable functions, then f times g is also differentiable, and therefore the derivative of two values that are being multiplied together, two functions that are in terms of x, is going to be the first one, stays exactly the same, times the derivative of the second, plus the second times the derivative of the first. And again, it's written out with words here. And also down here it says, note that you cannot distribute your little derivative and say that these are equal. These are not equal. This formula needs to be known for your exam, so we need to know this. All right, so moving on, this is again on page 5, 3.2 on your chapter 3 notes, part 1. We're going to go ahead and look at a couple examples. The proof of this is pretty much online. There is one step missing. Go ahead and check online in order to see that. The first problem that we want to look at right here is find f prime when we know f is equal to x squared plus 1 times e of x. If you notice, there's two functions here. The first one is this polynomial, x squared plus 1 times e to the x. We're going to go ahead and take a derivative of our function. I'm going to put f prime of x is equal to, it's the first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. So the first is x squared plus 1 times the derivative of the second. And the derivative of the second is just e to the x, and the derivative of this is just itself. So times e to the x plus the second, which is e to the x, times the derivative of the first, and the derivative of x squared plus 1 is 2x. Going ahead and cleaning this up, if you notice, you can factor out an e to the x. If you factored out e to the x, you'll be left over with x squared plus 1 plus 2x. I'm going to go ahead and write that descending order of the exponents. And this is our go ahead and our answer for the derivative using the product rule. Down here, there's another example that is written a little bit different. The first thing here, it says find the derivative with respect to x of x times g of x. So our first thing is x. The second thing that we have is g of x. So to find the derivative of this, let's go ahead and call this our function f of x. F prime of x is going to be the first term times the derivative of the second, which is written as g prime of x, plus the second times the derivative of the first, and the derivative of x is just 1. Just kind of cleaning this up a little bit, there's nothing that I can factor out. So this is x g prime of x, or x times, if you want to put a dot in there, you can, plus g of x. And this is our derivative, again using the product rule.